Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh here with you guys on a Thursday, just 4 NBA games tonight. We're going to be running through best bets in this episode. Also have player prop specific looks in another one. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Check out both of these episodes each and every weekday moving forward. Let's go ahead and jump right into your first look here. We're talking about this Bucks game in Milwaukee against the Dubs, and we both like the Dubs here.
You got to take the Warriors here. I mean, if you do your immediate snap judgment power rankings, Golden State is at worst, number 3? You got Thunder, Nuggets, Warriors, Spurs, I guess, at this point. Those are the 4 best teams in the NBA.
Chicago's undefeated. Just throw that out there.
I saw that, and I am not going there. Milwaukee, certainly not in that realm, while they have had a nice start. You wonder when a team is just going to be smart enough to just completely sell out on Giannis and see what these other guys can do. Teams have tried that a little bit. I think the Warriors can actually kind of execute it. They have in recent matchups. The last 2, Giannis with Jimmy aboard has averaged just 21 a game against the Dubs, shooting 42%. The Bucks scored 9 points in the fourth quarter the last time they played the Warriors. 9 points in today's insane NBA. A 99 offensive rating in their last 3 against the Dubs. I think missing Giannis for one of those, but still a problem. And it's all just like Giannis and spot ups, right? I'm going to take a pause. Okay. YOLO. 3, 2, 1. And the Warriors are number 3 defending above the break threes right now at 30%. They're actually at 28% since the Aaron Gordon experience in that opener there. So, I mean, they can guard that. The Milwaukee D also does a pretty good job limiting threes, but it's kind of a who they played so far. I mean, they lost also still holding the Cavs to 30%, and they kind of got torched by Sam Merrill moving off the ball, and now you get Steph Curry. So, I mean, good luck with that defense and the guys you have to throw out there, like Rollins and Cole Anthony, to help Giannis on offense. I just think they're going to have a hard time dealing with Steph and the gang on the other end.
Yeah, definitely. It's about the defense for the Dubs being able to limit Giannis and the guards is what we're talking about now, right? It's just Giannis and the guards, and then Miles Turner, who is, we know what Miles Turner is, and he's helpful, and he's an improvement at his age over what Brolo would be at his age, but he's not bringing the same type of stuff down low. He's not really bringing the same level of defense around the rim, essentially, is what we're talking about. So I think that's going to continue to be an issue for them. And then if you have a team like the Dubs, who also are somewhat, bereft of, they're not like loaded with bigs by any means. Quentin Post had a nice game the other night, but like it's Quentin Post and just Al Horford is an old man for the NBA right now. And then Draymond is also an old man for the NBA and undersized. So they're really all down low as well. And you're just going to have Draymond hanging on Giannis, and then everybody will help around it. I think Kerr knows that. They trap. They definitely put the pressure on the ball rather than off of it. And that's going to be a problem unless Ryan Rollins goes another 7 for 8 from 3, which I'm not banking on happening against this Dubs perimeter defense. So Miles is somebody, though, that I like to get boards in this game. He's still got a low number at 5.5. He's been boarding up well, and he's at 12.5 rebound chances per game right now through the first 4 or 5 with Milwaukee right now. So yeah, I think that he's going to continue to do that. He's got some great numbers against the Dubs. And I always immediately am like, all right, well, let's see how the center who's going up against the Golden State Warriors does, because as good as Draymond is, and as good as this team is in a lot of ways, they're short. They're just straight up short. So you give me a 7'2" center who at least, is not going to be the toughest guy in the room necessarily, but he's big enough and goes down and gets rebounds enough. And he's gotten at least 8 in 4 of the last 5, and he's got 7 in the other one. So 6+ rebounds for him, plus the money line for the Dubs gets you the negative correlation. So I like adding this bet to taking the Dubs to handle business.
Yeah, it makes sense that Turner would rebound against the Warriors also because he's comfortable on the perimeter, and the way the Warriors play, there's a lot of rebounds springing out that way. He's not necessarily your traditional center who's going to tip balls to himself and bring him in down low, but that's the type of game we expect this to be. It's free flowing, lots of 3-point attempts for Turner on offense, and therefore some rebounds on the other end when the Warriors are shooting threes. Thinking under here.
I am too.
Miami at Spurs. You are too. Everybody is. And I'm just a little forlorn because it opened at 232. I had the Bucks Knicks under last night at 232, right? At open, and then put it on the show here at just this number. and it lands on exactly 232. So, I mean, it's tough to get an under in the NBA right now, the way these teams are opening and flying up and down the floor. But I still think that this leans that way. You have maybe the best option to try to slow down what Wemby's doing with Bam Adebayo,
Maybe.
plus the Eric Spoelstra game theory, and they've given him problems. I mean, in 3 career against Bam, Wemby's only at 19 points per game with an 88 offensive rating. Bam's a plus 36 in the last 2, and the Heat have won both. I don't know if I have the chutzpah at plus 5.5 with Norm Powell sitting to take the Heat here, but that just makes me think that their offense is not going to be great, and that the Spurs, who have really beaten up on some trash defenses, like, I mean, Dallas might not be that, but they were all out of sorts in their opener, and then New Orleans, Brooklyn, Toronto, and they're still 4-0 to this number in regulation. Except for the overtime against New Orleans, they barely get over it, and it's because their defense is incredible, of course, number 1 or 2 and everything. And the Heat, while they started at this crazy pace, 2 of their 4 games, again, small sample, in against fellow crazy pace teams, Memphis and Charlotte, they also played the Knicks to just 212, who want to slow it down a little bit. Spurs are 4th slowest in pace. And so it's there. I think the Heat are going to do some stuff, do their voodoo to try to dare other guys to hit threes. Can the Spurs do that consistently? Get the ball away from Wemby? I mean, they're 10th fewest catch and shoot points per game so far, 4th lowest in 3-point attempts. You get Davion Mitchell, Hounding Castle. Can he produce against that? So in addition to like kind of just in the event of other looks, if you don't want to take an under in the NBA today, consider a little sprinkle on Heat halftime, Spurs full time plus 500. That was a wagon last year for the Miami Heat because, kind of like a great NFL coach, they'll come out strong with this great game plan. They might build a little lead, and then the sheer talent on the other side, in this case, Wemby maybe being the best 2-way player in the NBA at the moment, might bludgeon them to death.
You said maybe only because Nikola Jokic plays in the NBA, right? Like, if he wasn't there playing offense the way he plays
how much
offense.
do you want to weight defense versus offense? Like, I mean, what he does on defense is just unbelievable.
Well, don't let your old high school basketball coach say that here. You say that because he's going to say the defense is a part of this. There's no 2-way playing. There's either you play defense or you don't. And I would say Wemby is the player that I would like to have in the NBA more than anybody else right now, without question. And that's insane because Jokic is still one of the most undervalued superstars of all time, according to just public, sentiment. But let me get here into this game that maybe not a lot of people are going to want to bet too much around the spread, but I love to do this, man. I love to take an under on guys that if this is a blowout, then you just take the correlation, and you could add some stuff to this, like AJ Mitchell 15 plus points, right? Somebody who is going to be somewhat blowout proof for the Thunder. You take them, or maybe even a backup on the Wizards, right? Like a guy like Trey Jones, who you expect to play maybe 4 or 5 more minutes in a game that they're down 20 in the 4th quarter. That's how I expect to play this. Now, I'm not going to be the most surprised person if the Wizards keep this thing relatively close. I'm not, because I'm as impressed by them and their individual players as I am anything else. I'm not really impressed with Brian Keefe, but I am impressed with their players. And so I think if they do maintain any kind of close game here, it's got to be close though. Like if this thing is 10, 15 points going into the 4th quarter, I'm confident that coming back home now for the Thunder after that one with Sacramento, which was on the back-to-back, their first game back home. Now they've been in their beds for 2 to 3 nights. I'm sure they're ready to go and be like, we just won the last 2 games by fewer than 10 points. And that's not quite as acceptable in OKC. I don't think they care about margin of victory, but I think they care about the momentum of maintaining their gap between where they believe they are and where they think the rest of the NBA is. And so I am believing in them coming out winning this thing by the 15, 16 points that they have as the spread. And as a result, I don't think Caruso plays quite as much coming off an injury, played the second leg of the back-to-back at his first game back in a while. A couple of nights, I still just think you put Kason Wallace and AJ Mitchell out there and don't worry too much about it.
Yeah, I definitely think we can ride AJ Mitchell again, given the circumstance. Where did you find a number for Caruso at a specific book? Because I couldn't find his props up yet, probably because of what you're talking about, that odds makers are worried that people will just fade him in the event of a potential blowout.
Yeah, he's got his PRA up on a couple of spots, DraftKings and Caesars and BetMGM, Pinnacle online. The only one missing his PRA specifically is FanDuel right now. I'm not sure what they're waiting on, but
okay.
It's pretty available. So I would still feel good about it.
Yep. Yeah, but I think OKC rolls for sure. I mean, Washington had a spot. their last time out, they go to overtime and couldn't get it done. I mean, like the direction they're going in a little bit, but this is still a situation where Young Bucks gonna get smacked here coming into Loud City.
I think so. Yeah, they're about to get it. So that is all the time we have for you in the best bets, though. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are coming back with the player props for you as well. Each and every weekday, we're going to have both of these. So till we see you next, happy betting.